In this video, we're going to go over some of the most profitable bosses in the game at the moment, so that you guys, if you are looking to focus your efforts on learning a boss to make more money, or you're just looking to know where you should spend your time grinding right now to make as much money as possible, this is the video for you. A lot of the information I'll take from here is going to be from the PVME Discord as well, so that'll be linked in the description, so shout out to that too. And if you're not part of the Discord, then it's definitely worth jumping into because it has a ton of useful information for all people of all levels. That being said, let's talk about the most profitable bosses in RuneScape as of right now. So before we do get started, I just want to mention that these are going to be looking at someone who is a higher level player who can consistently kill these bosses, and of course we're also going to assume that you haven't gone insanely dry or insanely lucky at these bosses. We're going to be taking the averages, which means it may be better or it may be slightly worse for you depending on some luck. But on average, for the most part, this is what you're going to be expecting if you are getting the higher amount of kills at these bosses. Now, of course, I will mention for each boss the kill counts expected to meet this goal per hour, but at the same time, you will then just have to adjust that to fit yourself. Even personally, I wouldn't be matching these kill counts myself probably in a lot of the situations, so I will adjust them and say, yeah, you could probably expect around this much if you're getting this many kills. Before we do get started, let me tell you about a game that you've probably heard about, but maybe you haven't tried just yet, but you definitely should. A game with hundreds of champions, many different battles for you to take on, PvE and PvP content, and something you can play while AFKing and leveling up in RuneScape as well. There's never been a better time for you to jump into this game as it celebrates its 5-year mark with 5 million monthly active users as well. Raid Shadow Legends has a ton of content for you to take a look at, and there is a lot of recent updates as well, such as the live arena where you can show off your tactical prowess by fighting other players in real time, or the Cursed City, which is one of Raid's biggest features since the Tower of Doom. It has 100 stages to complete, including stages where you'll need to take down 2 of Raid's bosses at the same time. Not to mention how often new champions are released into the game. So if you haven't tried Raid Shadow Legends yet, I do suggest that you do check it out. Use the link in the description or the pinned comment and you'll get yourself bonuses worth up to $100 that include an epic champion, 500,000 silver from the very start, and once you reach level 25, you'll get an additional 500,000 silver, epic skill tomes, potions, and many more things as well. But wait, there's more. If you use the promo code right now, Festival5, you'll grab another epic champion, Telos, 500,000 silver, and a few other rewards as well. So if you want to grab your hands on all of these great things when you start out the game, then make sure to use my link in the description or use the QR code. Oh, by the way, my in-game name is the same as here on YouTube, so if you see me online, feel free to add me. So the information that we have for Vorkath is actually based off of my own research when I did a loot from 50 hard mode Vorkath kills a little while ago. Now, the prices of items of the rares have slightly changed, but not to the point where I can't give you a pretty accurate guess of where the gold per hour is going to sit at Vorkath in hard mode. Now, when I did this in my own time, I ended up with a pretty damn good result of around about 138 million GP per hour, which is crazy, with about a 4-minute average kill time. Now, you can get kill times a lot quicker than this. I believe my kill time is also now quite a bit quicker than this than when I actually started in the first place. But the 4 minutes is fine. Like, you're gonna have to just adjust this to your own kill times as you go along. My kill time is around about 3 minutes and 30 seconds now, but of course it's always gonna vary. If you make a little bit of a mistake, it can like knock 30 seconds off your time, or sometimes you're gonna get faster. So an average of 4-minute kill times is what we're gonna be going with here. Now, I got 138 million GP per hour in the past, but the price of the items have slightly changed. The spikes are almost exactly the same as when I price checked them, so that's absolutely fine, doesn't matter. The scale has actually gone up very slightly by around about, I want to say, between 50 and 100 million GP, and the Lord of Bones Codex has actually come down by quite a bit as well. To check these prices, I actually bought and sold all of the rares from Vorkath, so you can see them on screen now of my current price checks, and the Lord of Bones Incantation Codex dropped by like 130 mil, which is a hell of a lot, so it's going to affect your actual gold per hour here. That being said, I would probably still estimate that Vorkath in hard mode is still just over 100 million GP per hour and that's it, 4-minute kills. If you can get quicker, then obviously it's going to go up by quite a bit, but I would still say you're looking at about 110 million GP per hour in Vorkath hard mode if you are going to be getting those 4-minute kills. Still pretty damn good, but it is worth keeping in mind that this is one of the harder bosses, and you're probably going to be spending a lot of gold to get these kills while learning. And once you got a consistent, well, this place is still pretty much a gold mine. Moving on from Vorkath, we have the next most recent boss before Vorkath, being Rasel or Rasel, whatever it is. It doesn't matter. Rasel is a insanely profitable boss still, and has been since its release. If you can get around about 40 kills per hour, which would put you just over the 1 minute 10 second mark probably, because of course you've got to consider the pre-phase stuff and the banking time as well, you're going to be looking at around about 127 mil still at Rasel, and this is coming from the PvMe Discord. Now, of course, if you're a little bit slower, you can work this out to actually be each kills valued at around about 3 million GP each, so just over 3 mils. So you can just work that out as, hey, I'm getting 35 kills an hour, so times that by 3 mil, and there's your hourly profit on average. Now, again, you could get insanely lucky here, or you could get insanely unlucky here. You could end up getting loads of gloves or boots, or you could get just lanterns and main hands, and suddenly your GP is skyrocketed as well. But this is an average, taking into account the chance of getting all of the items and stuff like that, and assuming that you don't go on a stupidly bad, like, drop rate dry streak or something like that. But while Rasel isn't a super easy boss, he's not one of the most difficult bosses either. Once you've got that rotation down for Rasel, it becomes a lot easier, and it kind of becomes like something that you can mindlessly farm, in my opinion. If you put on like a Netflix show or something, or some YouTube videos in the background, I hear that Init is pretty good to watch. You could quite easily just mindlessly farm Rasel over and over again once you've got comfortable with him, and it's just very simple, easy gold. 127 mil an hour. This long after release, and it's not the hardest boss in the game. Like, there's not any insane mechanics, it's just a specific rotation. While it's not the easiest boss to kill, as long as you have the gear to do it, you have the undead abilities, you have the undead perks and the salve amulet and stuff like that, I mean, he's a gold mine. This guy is a freaking gold mine still. So I will be going back to Rasel as well, and trying to get as much GP from this guy as I can before it crashes. Next up, we're going to talk about Zook in hard mode. Anyone who watches my streams regular will know that I don't even do hard mode Zook. I have 1 kill here that got me my cape, and that was as much as I actually did. I don't really like Zook that much, to be honest. I don't know what it is about the boss. I like the idea of Zook, but just doing Zook myself, it doesn't seem all that good to me. But this boss is still really good money in hard mode. It's 3.5 kills an hour, which I believe is pushing it in terms of skill. I believe that's quite difficult to get. The PvMe Discord is saying you should be expecting just under 120 mil an hour. So it's 117.7 mil every single hour, doing 3.5 kills per hour. Now, again, I think this is quite difficult to do, but even if you're only getting 3, maybe you're getting 2.5, this still means this is a good amount of gold per hour for someone who is still pushing and learning this boss. But it has really good potential to make really good money. There's a lot of bosses at the moment that are giving over 100 mil every single hour if you can push your limits there, and Zook is definitely one of them. So for 117 million GP an hour, probably worth learning hard mode Zook. It's a different fight to many other things. You're just going to go in, spend 3 minutes killing it, and then teleport out. You've got the full sort of like waves to go through and the challenges to go through, which is why on paper I think I should like this boss, but just putting it into practice and doing it, there's just something about Zook that puts me off a little bit. But in terms of normal mode, this is still sitting at around about 32 mil every hour, which isn't that great. It's not too good really. It's like 4.5 kills an hour as well, so you have to be pretty quick. So hard mode is definitely the place to focus your efforts. Now the next two we're going to talk about, you're probably expecting them to be on this list at some point, but for those of you that are interested in the actual GP rates, we're going to talk about Telos now. Telos is going to be always one of the best bosses in the game in terms of GP once you reach these silly high-end rages. If you can do specifically to 449% enrage, which is where the actual like RNG on drops caps, any higher than that, it doesn't make a difference in terms of like valuable loot and stuff. If you can take on this enrage consistently and pretty fast and stuff, then you are going to be looking at pretty much a gold mine. Very easy gold every single hour, and I mean, if you ever need gold, this is what you do, right? That being said, the PvMe Discord says if you can get 15 kills an hour here, that's around about 150 mil, which values each kill at like 10 million GP, which is insane. That is absolutely crazy. Telos has always been one of the bosses in the game that is known to be one of the best bosses for money, right? Like, people always have known that if you could do high-end rage Telos, you're probably rolling in GP. It makes it a hell of a lot easier to make money. But the high-end rage 2.5k kills at Telos really aren't an easy thing to do. So this is going to be for a lot of you guys that just are pushing your limits at Telos to try and make as much GP as possible. If you're looking at streaking from lower end rages to as high as you can, this is still good GP. Like, it's still pretty good because of the chances of the rares and stuff. The Seren Godbow is still keeping Telos up there in terms of like making sure he is valuable. So you always have that going for you. But at the higher end rages, this place is still a complete gold mine. And then finally, we're going to talk about our good old friend Zamak. Zamak, of course, it was going to be number one on this list in terms of value. Like, holy shit, Zamak is still insanely good GP. And even at I'm not going to say the lower end rages, but in fact, no, even at the lower end rages, Zamak is nuts in terms of GP. For example, we're going to look at 0% enrage. 0%, 15 kills an hour. PvMe is expecting you to get around about 60 million GP to do 0% enrage Zamak. 60 mil every hour, and this will be a consistent thing as well. Like, you're consistently going to hit this probably, and that's nuts. That is absolutely crazy. But then you jump up to 100% enrage, which obviously gives you the extra phase, and it's definitely a lot more difficult. But with the Ring of Death these days, this has become a lot easier to do, especially with Necromancy as well. Maybe even easier now with like the newer updated combat styles. I'm not 100% sure yet, but this is jumping from a 100% enrage at 12 kills an hour to 111 million GP. 111 million GP for doing Zamak at 100% enrage. Now, don't get me wrong, 12 kills an hour is definitely up there. This means you're getting 5-minute kills at 100% enrage, which I think is definitely a higher level target to reach. So even if you are only getting like 10 kills an hour, you are still reaching insanely good GP profits here. 10 kills an hour would still be just under 100 million GP. I believe it would be around about 92 mil an hour, which is still crazy good. Like, 100% rage, you're reaching nearly 100 mil an hour. That's crazy. At 500%, at 8 kills an hour, again, which is up there, is 130 mil an hour. 1000 enrage is around about 133 mil an hour. And apparently 2000% enrage, 4 kills an hour, is 166 million GP every single hour, which is crazy. That's nuts. Obviously, 2000% enrage isn't easy. Like, it's pretty damn difficult. And those were all the solo rates as well. Now, according to PvMe, if you are doing Zamak in a group and getting a couple of extra kills here and there, you are inflating the amount of gold that you get every hour by quite a bit, which is interesting. I suppose this is because you both get loot as well, so you're getting like just more drops, and then you include the splits and stuff. But on screen is the rates for that in terms of a group in comparison to a solo. But there you go. That is still the most profitable boss in the game. As of right now, Zamak is still up there as the most profitable boss, making insane gold rates every single hour. Like, holy crap. If you can consistently farm Zamak at these higher end rages, making money in this game just isn't an issue. Let's be honest, it isn't. So maybe if you are looking to focus your efforts somewhere, Zamak is the place to do it. And there you go, the 5 most profitable bosses in RuneScape as of today. Now, of course, these are all going to be high level bosses, things that are difficult to do. I'm not reaching the kills per hour mentioned in this video in most of these places, but you can still use this as a guide to work out on, hey, I can get this many kills, so that means that I'm looking at this much GP. You can do that, but you can also use it as a motivation, a goal, things that you want to reach. Hey, I want to be able to do 12 kills an hour at 100% enrage. That's my goal for this month. month. I'm going to focus on making sure I can do that. Then I can make my 111 mil every single hour there. Then after that, hey, maybe I want to learn Telos at 2449% end rage. Set yourself that goal, focus on that for a month, and then boom, you're going to make that money from there too. So while for some of you guys it might not seem very realistic right now, it is something you can set your eyes on and work towards for the future. Anyway, I hope you found this useful or interesting. Make sure to check out Raid Shadow Legends in the pinned comment. Thank you very much to them for sponsoring the video. I appreciate it a ton. But other than that, guys, I'll catch you all in the next one. See you later, guys. Bye.